Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast. Steve, Ramona.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I'm so thrilled to have you join us today. This podcast is dedicated to exploring the idea of doing business and living life with a purpose, serving others, and yes, achieving success. We believe when we approach our work and our lives with a servant's heart, we can truly make a difference. We create this show for you because we want everyone to be motivated, inspired, and educated to make an impact in your world. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a community leader, or simply someone looking to bring more purpose into your daily life, this podcast is here to support you. While listening to the show today and my incredible guest, I want you to think about how you will serve today and what impact you'll create today. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by our phenomenal partner, Pantheon Alliance. Imagine being part of an exclusive community of high-income, successful business owners and entrepreneurs from very diverse industries. Together, we're going to build a philanthropic opportunity to change the world to become thought leaders and experts. Build a powerful referral marketplace to unlock unbelievable opportunities. For more information, reach out to me and I'll get you all the information on Pantheon. With that being said, we're going to talk about a guest today who's 80 years young, 81 it looks like she put in there, but she started over again, which I love. I know in my 80s, I'm going to still be working and helping and mentoring people, and that's what she's doing today. Lynn, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve. I'm really happy to be with you.
Let's talk about hope. What's it mean to you?
Hope is not wishing. It is emanating it yourself. And when you emanate hope, others pick up that energy. And it also means that you turn your life into looking forward and looking for all the, what I call good things. Look for good books, listen to good speakers, listen to all the good that's actually going on in the world, search for it, find it, and don't stop.
What are other ways we can find hope?
What are other ways?
Yeah.
Find people that can work with you. You can, well, as I said, you can read, you can listen to people speak, you can listen to music, you can do what you love to do. That's actually a very, very important one, where you do what serves your heart, what makes you feel light and alive and inspired. And shortly, you can just say, live your purpose. And if you're not sure what that is, maybe someone can help you whittle down into what the actual purpose is. Like my purpose, for example, is to inspire other people to be the best that they can be.
What's your past experiences show you how to get better hope, and why are you an expert on hope?
My past experiences, as I have written in my book, I call the ones that teach us the most IPCs, which are basically a catastrophic event that is sudden and turns a person's life into a completely unknown direction. They are the things that really turn us into a lot of pain, and we don't know what to do. It's our life is never going to be the same. So I wrote about 7 of those events that have occurred in my own life to give examples to others that they aren't the only ones that these things happen to. They happen to literally every living being on this planet. You cannot avoid them. They can destroy you, but you can't let that happen. Because what they really are is they teach us, they have a value and a message to help us grow. And when we're going through these very difficult times, we're doing our greatest growth. So I put the book out there to give people hope.
Yeah.
And also to show them, also in the book, how they can survive, what they can do, where they can go.
So somebody that's listening and here's hope, what's their first step to get more hope in their life?
The first step, I would say, what we have in our brain is a negative default of a negative bias. We look at things with a negative bias. It's unconscious. It's a part of the brain that comes from the reptilian age, and it hasn't evolved like the rest of our body and brain. It's still there. So we are looking at things from a hopeless and maybe helpless pair of glasses. So you can make a choice. You can make the adrenaline that you get from the negative thinking causes the fight, flight, or freeze from the adrenaline, because you get an adrenaline shot from something negative. When really what we need are the endorphins from the positive way of thinking. So we are able to change our minds. We think in pictures. There's no ticker tape going across the bottom of the screen of your mind in words. You don't see in words. You see in images. And what we have to do is change the picture.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to need some help with that.
Yeah. And storytelling is images. That's why storytelling is so popular. Back
Absolutely.
to Jesus. Jesus told stories way back thousands of years ago. So I love that because the image is a story.
Yes.
So in regards to I had a question in my mind. Well, I want to ask this. Is 74 years went back to college to study psychology.
Yes.
Why?
I've always loved studying and learning about human behavior. And so even though I didn't have a complete university education is what that you read from books is learning. Knowledge, on the other hand, is experience. And it deeply, you have so much emotion involved with the way that way of learning, the knowledge way of learning, is that with emotion, it becomes imprinted in your brain. If you're reading it in a book, okay, that's knowledge. I should say that's learning, but you got to turn the learning into knowledge, and that means emotion.
Yeah. So you're a servant's heart, and that's why you're on the show, because you do pro bono work. And for audience doesn't know what that means, she does it for free, her coaching. Why are you doing that? And with this vast experience, what can you offer?
What I usually offer in coaching sessions is, first of all, to have a really great introductory conversation with the person who is looking to feel better about themselves, about the world, about their life, because we're not here to be depressed. But things happen and we don't understand what's really going on. We're just in a state of where we're stuck. We can't get out. So what was the question?
Well, that's it. Why are you coaching? What's your pro bono? I mean, you're doing it
Oh,
for free.
yes,
Why are you doing it for free?
Right. I'm doing it for free because I've not, I don't want to be in the business, quote unquote, of coaching anymore, but I still want to be able to reach people. And so I will vet everyone who calls me, and on that, I will base whether I feel I can help them or not, because I won't attempt to go into something where I don't have a background or a field in it. So if people are really stuck in an IPC, an instant pivotal crisis, then I will definitely coach. So it's like I still want to help people, but I'm not charging, because there are people who need the help that don't have it. They don't have the funds.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to not be able to get help simply because they don't have the funds.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a true servant's heart. So you developed and operated 3 solo businesses over 40 years. What were your challenges?
Challenges were everywhere. First of all, being a woman in a man's world. We're still struggling with this. We're making headway. It's going to get a lot better. But mainly, funding to build a business. So I've had to do it in a very different way, where I would run my business from my home in the days long before that was even considered. This was like the 1980s, 70s, and 80s, operating from my home. And they were many, there were a lot. But because I was in my own home, I had more control over what I was doing, how I was doing it. I did have a business license every time, but I had to mold what I did around some very different pillars.
Yeah. A lot of moms, entrepreneurs are listening to this show. Probably 30% of my audience. What will you give them as advice to either they have a business or want to start one from home? That's the key.
Right, from home. Well, make sure the legalities are all looked after. If it's necessary for you to have a license from the city, town, or whatever area you live in, so look after that. And you'll just simply do everything that you would do in a brick and mortar business, but you will be doing it from your home. And so you're going to feel so much less stress. And just go about it the same way that you would if you were setting up in, like I said, a brick and mortar place, and make it professional. You have an office that no one else in the house goes to. I had the full downstairs of my home that was all finished, and I had a treatment room, I had an office, I had a waiting room, I had a separate entrance than the residence entrance. So just you make it as personal, as professional as you need it to be if you're going to have people coming to your home. Some instances you don't need that. You're working with people virtually, which is certainly way different than I could do in the 80s and 90s. There wasn't the virtual ability. So just be professional, be your personal self. You can advertise, you can do everything that a normal business does. But the fact of being in my home made me a much better business person.
Yeah, and I'll add to this because I work with, I mentor every week business owners that work from home. Make sure that space is professional, meaning don't put a little corner in your bedroom and do your business. Have a separate space. But and I know not all of you can do that, but that's your ultimate goal as you're starting and growing. In your goals of your business plan is finding either a WeWork or whatever it may be, but have that space that's just dedicated, because that's what I have. One of our bedrooms is my office, and when I'm in here, it's all business, unless my wife comes in and needs something. So it's a great advice. Yeah. Let's talk about your book. What was the reason for writing the book, and what do you want people to get out of it?
I knew I needed to write a book 20 years before I did. It was something I knew I was going to do, but the time was not right. I would know when the time was right. Just intuitively, I would know it. So that happened, let's see, about a year after my husband of 50 years passed away. And I was alone, except for my dog. And thank God for her. My sister.
I said, amen. Dogs are
yes,
like teachers and nurses, unappreciated, but keep going.
Yes, my sister. I live in British Columbia in Canada, in the sort of the southern central area, but it can get quite cold and snowy. And my sister, who lives in a different climate, said to me, I don't want you to be alone for another winter. Come and stay with us. So my dog and I packed as much as we needed into my little smart car, and off we went. And we stayed there for 5 months. And as soon as I got there, and I had this lovely room that she had set up for me with everything I could possibly need. And for every morning for 3 months, I wrote for at least 3 hours. And that's how it got done. I had the space, I had the quiet, I had a beautiful surroundings and the love of my sister. So it all came out, and I wrote it in a linear fashion, right from day one to the present. And it just got done.
It sounds like servant's heart runs in your family, because what a blessing your sister is.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm compared to my sister, I have that much. She's got that much.
Okay, let's do this then. Shout out. What's her name?
Her name is Penny Wade.
Penny Wade, shout out to you, to the universe. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless you. And I could tell your sister's extremely happy what you've done.
Yes. And
So
between her, sorry.
No, go ahead, finish. No, I love finish your comment.
Between her and 2 other heart friends of mine, they supported me in the writing of this book. They read the drafts, they gave me feedback, and without them, it wouldn't have been done. So I love them forever and ever.
Biggest lesson is have a community, have a tribe, have a group, whatever, family, friend, whatever you call it, have that group of people that want to support you. And I'm sure you've done it with other people, and I've done it. We do this together. It's powerful. We're getting to the end here, but I love faith. And I don't mean just religion faith, but having faith. Tie that into hope.
Oh, faith. Yes. Faith and hope. Now, faith can be, you can be thinking of having faith in a super consciousness. You can think of having faith in yourself, and you can think of having faith in Mother Nature. Whatever fills you up in the name of faith. So faith is very important. Family is important. Friends are important. And doing work that serves will fill you up.
Oh my gosh, I know that. Yeah, Absolutely right. I live in that for the last 2 years. And I agree with you. Well, most of my life, but last 2 years it's been highlighted. So we're getting to the end here. I love to ask a fun question.
Okay.
Wait, Lynn, you're in Canada
Yeah.
and you've got a reservation at a restaurant for
Yes.
4. Of course, you're
Okay.
going to sit in one chair. Who are the other 3 participants in your table, dead or alive, and why? And I think the most important thing is, what food would you order?
Oh my goodness, have you got another half hour?
Well, no, but give me a couple minutes.
Okay, I would probably be ordering something quite nutritious. I don't eat a lot at one sitting, so I'd probably take
Right.
home a hefty doggy bag with me. And depending on the time of day and what kind of a meal, but let's say it's dinner time, it would be not necessarily totally vegetarian, but something that's nutritious and small. I really love some of the bigger bowls of salads that would be like a dinner meal.
Mhm.
So that would be that. I would have seated with me, let's see, I think I would have my deceased husband. I would have my current partner, my sister, and my brother, whom hasn't really, no, I'm going to scratch that. I'm going to say my eldest daughter.
What a group. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
I want to thank you. You've been an incredible guest. How could people support you and reach out and find you?
Probably my website,
Okay.
which is borntobounceback.ca. The CA is for Canada, so it is not .com, it is .ca. And people need to know that I wrote the book under a pen name, which is Frances Teagan. And if you look for it and you spot this, I don't know sure if you can see this.
Yeah, there it is. I can see the name.
Okay, you can see I can't see it, but if you
Yeah.
can see it, that's all that matters. So if you recognize, it's on Amazon. So it's Born to Bounce Back, regain your zest for life after it's knocked you down.
Very cool. I love that. Well, thank you again. Reach out to her, comment on our YouTube channel. I'll get those comments to her. If you can't get a hold of her, I'll put all this in the show notes as well. But if you still can't get a hold of her, reach out to me and I'll connect you with her. That's why I love being a host, connecting good people with good people. It's so awesome. Don't forget my TV show, Together We Serve, every Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Apple TV, Roku, LG, Samsung, all those streaming services. Imagine watching a great guest on your 70-inch TV. And with that being said, me and Lynn want to thank you so much for watching or listening to our podcast. We'll see you on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.